I've got some really exciting news for you. The season isn't over yet. Even better, the growing season never really truly ends, but our relationship with it does change dramatically over the next few months. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about a few varieties that you can sow right now in October here in the UK or in places with similar climates. These are edible plants that I know you're going to absolutely love. It's also really important to remember, you should grow things that you like, not just what I'm suggesting you can grow. It's all about flavour, it's all about growing food for you and your family, and if you don't eat it, then I would argue there's not a huge amount of point growing it if you're growing for flavour. Of course, if it makes you smile, go for it. Remember, this is all about having fun. It's all about growing food. It's all about expanding our horizons. So let's go right into it. So in this video, I'm going to suggest some varieties that you can sow and grow very late in the season now, in early October. These are varieties that I've grown previously that I find are quite easy to grow, and I think you're going to have really, really good results growing them. It's really important to take a moment to understand exactly where we are in the growing calendar. The temperature is about to get a lot colder. We're about to have a dip in temperature. I know it's in a lot of your minds. Aren't the plants going to die in the cold? It's a really valid question. It's one that I get asked a lot on my social media. We're so trained to think that plants can't survive in the cold, but there's so many amazing varieties that are going to absolutely love the cold weather. There's so many varieties like pak choi that actually will struggle in the heat of the summer, but they're a beautiful cold weather crop that really come into their own at this time of year. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through some varieties that you can sow and grow that will love the cold. Let's go right into it. If you watch the previous videos on this channel, you will see me sowing these beautiful seedlings. There's something so good about sowing seeds at this time of year, isn't there? I feel like in spring, sometimes it becomes a chore, sowing so many things and watering them, and now the novelty has kind of come back. So I love autumn sowings. If you'd like to have more information about how you can sow these too, please check out the previous videos. I'll put the link in the description. But just to catch you up if you're new here, we've got some radish, some spring onion, pak choi, and wild rocket. Don't they look beautiful? I absolutely love these varieties. I love to eat them. I love to grow them. It's a real marriage made in heaven, isn't it? All of these varieties you can sow in late September or early October, but depending on when in October you're watching this, you're going to want to get a move on because they're going to need a little bit of warmth to germinate, but also to get to the stage where you're going to be using them. I've sown these in the polytunnel that I'm talking to you from now, but I've also sown exactly the same plants as you can see here on the windowsill of my house in a slightly smaller seed tray. My wife won't be very happy if I take up all of the windowsill with these plants. They're really easy to germinate. You're just going to put them into a little seed tray, cover the seeds over, and in a matter of days, you're going to see these beautiful seedlings. If you've watched the previous videos and you've followed along with me, you've already sown these seeds. Well, we're coming to the point where we're going to be planting them out because I've given them a head start in the polytunnel. The side vents are open in here. It does go cold at night. They've hardened off a little bit, and I'm actually going to plant these out into my own food growing space. I'm going to take you with me next week and show you how I go about doing that. It's so much fun. I absolutely love it. If you watch the previous videos, you'll also remember these mustard red giant. How good does that look? I'm going to hold that close to the camera. Look at that. Look at the colours on the leaf. It's a spicy salad leaf that grows really, really well in the cold weather. I only sowed these maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Look how well established they are. Roots coming out at the bottom of the pot. These are going to be going outside into my own food growing space really soon. And I'm going to take you on the journey. I'm going to take you with me next week and show you the process of me planting these out. I wish that you could taste the mustard red giant through the screen. It tastes really, really good. I'm going to show you the difference that it makes when you pot these seedlings on into bigger pots. Look at the size of that mustard red giant. Look at the size of the seedling that's stayed in the plug tray. It is worth potting them into the bigger pot if you've got the space to do so, if you've got the time to do so. I'd love to stick a podcast on and get on with it. Look at the difference it makes. While I'm talking to you, I've just noticed there's an intruder. Can you guys see? There's a little slug making his way towards my spring onions. How dare he? That's actually a really good point. You do need to be careful of your seedlings in the autumn. You need to make sure you don't overwater them, because you'll have problems with pests. You'll see potentially some little pests hopping around on the surface of the soil. You'll see some mould, some mildew, but also you need to check for slugs. It's actually been quite warm here in the UK the last few weeks. We've had huge slugs roaming around our growing spaces, and so we need to make sure that the slugs are not venturing out in warm, wet evenings and feasting on the buffet that I have provided for them. So we need to make sure that the slugs don't have a good time here on my expense. As I say, I'm going to show you in next week's video the process of me planting these out, but also jobs that you can do in the early October herb garden. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and check that video out. This video I'm going to talk to you about some other varieties that you can actually sow and grow at this time of year, even if you haven't followed along previously. Come with me, let's go over to the potting bench and I'll show you some of the things that you can pot up in early October. I'm in the first week of October here. Let's go and get our hands dirty. I'm gonna have to clear some space. Look at the state of the potting bench. It's full of herb plants. And I'm gonna be talking to you more about the different varieties of herbs that you can plant in the autumn over the coming weeks. But right for now, I need to get rid of all of this mess. If only there's a way I could tidy all this up really quickly for the video. That did the trick, didn't it? I'm going to be introducing you to a few varieties that you can sow in October, early October here in the UK. These are all varieties that I love to grow and eat. And some of these I'll be planting on straight away, and others I'll be growing on in the polytunnel for a later crop for myself. So let's get right into it. Early October is a great time to sow winter lettuce, and there's so many different varieties that you can grow. I've got here a variety called Winter Density, which, as the name would suggest, is nice and hardy. If you just go onto Amazon and type in winter lettuce, you'll see so many options. They've all got names involving Arctic or winter. They're really easy to grow, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to fill a seed tray like this. You're going to gently firm down each of the cells in this tray. Just really push it down. I'm actually using a seedling compost, which just means that it's quite fine. So the seeds are going to be in intimate contact with the soil. That's really, really important. It improves the rate of germination because we want to get as many of these seeds to germinate as possible. I'm literally just going to sow 2 seeds per cell and then cover them over with the growing medium. I'm going to leave them in the polytunnel for a little while just to bring them on before I plant them outside and get them really going in my own front garden food growing space. Just going to cover them over and then give them a little bit of a drink just to settle them in. Next to the winter lettuce, I'm also going to sow some more spinach. It's really important to keep sowing spinach, and you can just about get away with doing so. We've had some nice warm weather here, and in the tunnel, the spinach is going to come on nicely. It's fully hardy, and I'm going to love cropping it through the colder months of the year. You're going to make sure the soil is nicely firm down in every single one of these spaces, and then put just a few spinach seeds in each cell, multi-sow it. It's going to come on quite nicely here in the tunnel, and then we're going to transplant it outside. I'm just giving it a bit of a head start by growing here in the polytunnel, but if you've only got access to a windowsill, that'll work absolutely fine as well. So we've got winter lettuce, we've got spinach, and finally I'm going to sow a salad herb called salad bonnet. And it's quite late to sow this, but last year I did sow, and I had some really good results, especially on the windowsill in the house. But if the weather's nice, here in the polytunnel, we should get some really good results too. I absolutely love salad bonnet. I should post a video just about that, I think. That's a good idea, I'm going to do that. Salad bonnet grows really easily. It's got a lovely cucumber flavour, great for salads or cocktails. And again, I'm just going to put a few seeds in every single one of these cells and just bring it on really nicely in the polytunnel. If it comes on well, I might even transplant it outside in a few weeks. So there you go. That's 3 varieties that I'm sowing in October. 3 edibles that I think you're absolutely going to love. If you've got any questions about what I'm doing here, please just drop me a message. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Next week, I'm going to show you some jobs that you can do in the autumn herb garden that I think you're going to really enjoy. I'm going to plant out these absolute beauties, and I'm going to show you how you can plant those out too, alongside some routine jobs that you can do in the October garden. We're going to be cleaning these polytunnels. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for your time watching this video, guys. I hope that it's inspiring you to have a go at growing your own food. It's really empowering to do so. It's something I feel really passionate about. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. See you later.